Smoke still rose from the ruins. The alien village was quiet now. Buildings had fallen. Ashes covered everything. It looked like the war had stolen all life from this place. Logan, a human soldier and explorer, walked slowly through the destruction. His boots crunched on burnt wood and glass. He held his blaster close. The silence made him nervous. Something about this place felt haunted. He had come to search for survivors or bodies. He didn't expect to find anything alive. Then he heard it. A soft sound. A sniffle. Maybe a cough? He turned quickly, aiming his blaster, but there was no enemy. Instead, a small alien child, thin, covered in dust, stood behind him. Her eyes were large and glowing, her skin a faded gray. She looked about 6 years old, maybe younger. Her arms hugged her stomach tightly. Logan lowered his blaster in surprise. The girl looked up at him, lips trembling. Then she spoke. "Are you the human?" she whispered. Logan blinked. "What? My mommy said a human would come. She said ... only a human would help us." She stepped closer. Her little fingers tugged at his jacket. "Please," she said. "My brothers are hungry. Mommy is sick. We need help." Logan stared down at her. His chest tightened. This wasn't a trap. She was real, and she was desperate. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Kari. Kari, where's your family?" She pointed toward a broken building, half covered in rubble. "Follow me," she said, grabbing his hand. He hesitated. But something inside told him to follow. So he did. They walked through blackened ruins. The deeper they went, the colder it felt. Finally, Kari stopped in front of what looked like an old supply station. Its door had fallen off. Smoke still curled from inside. She pushed aside a curtain of cloth. Logan stepped inside behind her. He wasn't ready for what he saw. There, on the floor, lay an alien woman, her skin pale, her face bruised, her body thin and weak. 2 more children, even smaller than Kari, sat beside her, barely moving. Their eyes were wide but lifeless, like they hadn't eaten in days. The woman tried to sit up when she saw Logan, but she couldn't. She coughed, winced in pain, and then looked at him with tired, golden eyes. "You're the human," she whispered. Logan nodded slowly. "I am," she smiled weakly, though tears slipped down her cheeks. "My name is Rhea. I'm their mother." Her voice cracked. "Please, take them. They won't live long without you." Logan knelt beside her. "Don't say that. I can help." Rhea shook her head. "No, I'm too weak now." "But you can save them." She looked into his eyes, her hand trembling as she reached toward him. "Adopt them," she said. "Be their father." Logan's mouth opened, but no words came. This wasn't just a rescue. She was asking him for something deeper, something bigger. "And if you can," Rhea added, her voice now barely a breath, "take me too, as your mate." The silence in the room felt heavy. The fire outside crackled in the distance. "I'll give you everything I have left," she whispered, "even myself. Just don't leave them alone." One of the little boys started to cry softly. Logan stood there frozen. A war had brought him here. Guns, fire, death. He didn't come looking for family. But now, 3 starving children were looking up at him. A dying mother had offered her whole heart, her life, in exchange for safety, and something deep in his soul answered that call. He reached into his supply pack and pulled out protein bars and a small water pod. He placed them on the floor gently. Kari tore open the food and shared it with her siblings. Their tiny hands moved fast, like they hadn't eaten in days. The sound of chewing and soft sobs filled the air. Logan looked at Rhea. Her eyes were still open, watching him. She smiled again, just a little. "Thank you, human," she whispered. Then she passed out. Logan caught her before her head hit the floor. He looked around. The children were still eating. The fire outside was growing. He whispered to himself, "What have I gotten myself into?" But he already knew the answer. He wasn't leaving none. Not now ever. Asterisk. The storm came at night. Rain hit the roof of the broken shelter. Wind pushed through the cracks. Cold air blew in like a ghost, touching everything with icy fingers. Logan sat near the doorway, eyes wide open, holding his blaster and watching the darkness outside. Inside the shelter, the children were asleep finally. After food and water, they had curled up beside their mother, like kittens beside a fading fire. But Rhea wasn't asleep. She couldn't sleep. She lay on her side, breathing slowly, her arms wrapped around the smallest child. Her skin looked like pale stone, her lips dry and cracked. Logan turned toward her. "Are you okay?" he asked quietly. Rhea smiled softly. "I haven't been okay in a long time." Logan moved closer, taking off his jacket and laying it over her thin shoulders. She flinched at first, then relaxed. "I thought humans didn't care," she whispered. "I thought you only looked out for your own kind." Logan looked away. "Some of us are like that, not all." Rhea stared up at the ceiling. "My husband died protecting this village. When the war ended, no one came to help. Not even our own people. They said we were the unlucky ones, the leftovers." Her voice cracked. "I begged them to feed my children. They said I should sell myself or let them die." Logan clenched his fists. "I couldn't let them die," Rhea continued. "But I had nothing left to give. So I told Kari, if she ever saw a human, maybe, just maybe, he would have a heart." She turned her head toward him. "She found one." Logan sat in silence. He didn't know what to say. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a father. He was just a man passing through. "You can leave if you want," Rhea said. "But if you do, they'll die. Maybe not tonight, but soon. They're small, weak." She reached out and gently grabbed his hand. "Take them," she said. "Raise them. Love them. And if you're willing, take me too. I'll be your partner, your mate. I don't want to beg, but I will if it means they live." Logan's heart pounded in his chest. No one had ever asked him for love before. Not like this. Not while dying. A long silence passed. Then, without saying a word, Logan stood. He walked outside into the storm, opened his emergency pack, and began pulling out supplies: thermal blankets, more food, a small power lamp, a healing injector. When he came back inside, he knelt beside Rhea. "I'm not going anywhere," he said. Rhea's eyes watered, but no tears came. Her body was too dry for tears. "You're choosing us?" she asked in disbelief. "I already did," he said. He took her arm gently and injected the healing serum. It wasn't much, but it would help her last through the night. As he worked, Rhea whispered, "If I live, I'll serve you. If I die, at least I'll know my children are safe." Logan looked at her. "I don't want a servant. I want a partner." For a moment, the shelter was quiet, except for the sound of wind. Rhea closed her eyes. And for the first time in many nights, she slept without fear. Logan sat beside her until morning. Outside, the storm passed, but inside the shelter, something new had started. Not war. Not fear, but family. Rhea opened her eyes slowly. The first thing she saw wasn't the broken roof or the cracked floor. It was him. The human. Logan. He sat with his back against the wall, one arm across his chest, fast asleep. A half-burned lamp flickered beside him. Its soft blue light made his face look peaceful, almost kind. Rhea had expected many things from a human: fear, disgust, even cruelty. But not this. Not warmth. Not safety. Not him. She pushed herself up slowly, trying not to wake the children. Her body ached, but it didn't feel like dying anymore. Logan stirred as she moved. His eyes opened quickly, alert like a soldier's. When he saw her, his face softened. "You're awake," he said. "Good." Rhea nodded, her voice weak. I thought I wouldn't wake up at all. Logan handed her a warm pack of water and some soft protein gel. I gave the kids food earlier. They went right back to sleep. Rhea took a small sip. It tasted strange, but it was real food. Real water. Life. Why are you still here? She asked. You could have left. I wouldn't have blamed you. Logan looked at her seriously. I'm not someone who walks away. She studied his face. You don't even know me. I'm just a widow with nothing left but 3 hungry mouths. He chuckled softly. You say that like it's a bad thing. Rhea tilted her head. Isn't it? No, he said, leaning forward. You're brave. You protected them when no one else would. You didn't give up. Rhea looked down. Her hands trembled slightly. I almost did. Logan reached into his supply bag and pulled out a heat wrap. He offered it to her, but she didn't take it. Instead, she looked at him with tired, haunted eyes. Will you let me sleep beside you tonight? She asked. Logan raised an eyebrow. Why? Because, she said slowly, I'm tired of being cold. There was silence for a moment. She looked ashamed. Not for your body. I'm not asking for that. I haven't felt warmth in months. Not real warmth. Logan nodded. He spread the blanket wider and scooted to one side. Rhea crawled beside him and wrapped herself in the edge of the heat wrap. He didn't touch her, but he didn't pull away. Either. They sat in silence. Her breathing slowly matched his. I used to sleep beside someone, she said quietly. But I forgot what it felt like to be close to someone without fear. Logan turned to her. You're safe now. Rhea closed her eyes. Don't say that unless you mean it. I do. She rested her head gently on his shoulder. Then I hope the night never ends. She whispered. Outside. The stars blinked silently in the sky. Inside the broken shelter, 2 lives touched 2 souls who had lost everything but somehow found each other. Neither spoke again, but something had already changed. Not just safety, not just survival, but connection. The kind that doesn't need words. Asterisk. It was the sound of jeering voices that broke the peace. Rhea clutched Kari tightly as they stepped into the outer market of the alien town, hidden behind Logan's strong, silent figure. Her other 2 children walked close behind her, their eyes wide and nervous. They hadn't been to the village in weeks, not since they were abandoned. Not since they were left to die. Now, they were returning, but not alone. A human walked with them. That's what made the villagers stop and stare. Whispers turned to laughter. Laughter turned to shouts. Look who returned from the ashes. A tall alien male sneered from his fruit stall. The widow who offered herself for scraps. Now she brings a pet human to carry her bags. More laughter. Rhea lowered her head in shame. Logan didn't say anything. Not yet. Did she beg you to, human? Another merchant called out. How many nights did she warm your bed before you agreed to feed her brats? The children clung to their mother. Rhea was shaking. Logan stopped walking. He turned slowly to face the crowd. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply spoke. Say one more word about her, he said, and I'll tear your fruit stand apart with my bare hands. The laughter stopped. The tall alien merchant narrowed his eyes and stepped forward, towering over Logan. His arms were thick, covered in tribal paint. She was promised to me. The alien growled. Her husband owed my clan. I was going to claim her when she was weak. You stole what's mine. Logan's eyes burned. He stepped forward, nose to nose with the alien. She's not property, Logan said quietly. She's not yours. Without warning, the alien swung a punch, but Logan moved like lightning. He ducked, twisted, and slammed his fist into the alien's ribs, once, twice, then a 3rd time. The alien stumbled backward, crashing into his own stand, sending fruit rolling across the ground. The crowd gasped. Logan didn't look at them. He turned back to Rhea and the children. Let's go. They walked forward again, slowly, quietly. No one dared speak this time. But as they reached the food vendor, an old alien woman stepped out from her tent. She didn't laugh. She didn't mock. She looked at Rhea, then at Logan. Then she placed a small bag of bread and dried root in Logan's hand. "No charge," the woman said. "It's rare to see someone protect what others throw away." Rhea's eyes filled with tears. Logan nodded in thanks. As they left the market behind, Kari looked up at him. "You're not afraid of them?" she asked. "No," Logan said. "Not when I know what's right." Rhea walked beside him, silent, shaken, but her heart beat differently now. Not with fear, but with something new. Hope. Asterisk. The knock was not polite. It shook the metal door like a fist of thunder. Logan froze mid-step. He had just finished fixing the old heater inside the small shelter they now called home, an abandoned cargo hut on the edge of the village. Rhea was spoon-feeding the youngest child. Kari was drawing shapes in the dust. The second boy sat beside the fire, holding a blanket Logan had stitched together from old uniforms. The knock came again. Harder. More urgent. Then a voice, cold, unforgiving. "Open this door, human. You are holding property that does not belong to you." Logan's hand moved to his blaster. He glanced at Rhea. She was pale. Her hands trembled. "Who is it?" he asked quietly. Her lips barely moved. "Clan enforcers." Logan's jaw clenched. "Step toward the door. Leave or I'll make you leave," he shouted. The voice outside didn't shake. "You have 20 seconds to hand over the woman and the children. They were claimed by debt law. She has no rights. Neither do you." Kari ran to Logan and grabbed his leg, shaking. "They want to take Mommy," she cried. Rhea stood, legs weak, but eyes blazing with fear. "You have to run," she said. "Take the children. Leave me." Logan turned sharply. "I'm not running. They will kill you," she whispered. "They have full rights under village law." "I don't care," Logan said. "They'll have to kill me first." He handed Kari to Rhea and walked to the door. The knock came again. This time, they started to break it down. Wood cracked. Metal screamed. The children cried out. Rhea pressed them to the back of the room, shielding them with her body. But before the door burst open, Logan did something they didn't expect. He activated a signal beacon. An emergency code from the Old Human Alliance. One call. It pinged across the sky loud and clear. If any friendly ships were near, they would hear it. Then Logan pulled open the door himself. 2 enforcers stood outside in full battle gear. Both were twice his size. 4 arms each. Heavy armor. Long rifles. Logan raised his blaster calmly. "I said she's not property," he growled. "She's mine." One enforcer laughed. "By whose law?" "By mine," Logan said. "By the law of a soldier who's buried friends on 6 planets. You think I'm scared of you?" The enforcers aimed their rifles, but just before they fired, a sound split the air. A ship, roaring in the sky. A human dropship. It hovered above the hut, shining a blinding light down on the ground. A human voice came through the speaker. "Logan? We got your beacon. Step back." The enforcers froze. They weren't ready for a real fight. Logan smirked. "Looks like the law just changed." The enforcers ran. Rhea fell to her knees, holding her children. She looked at Logan like he was something more than a man, a protector, a shield, a miracle. Later that night, after the ship left and the hut was quiet again, Rhea sat beside Logan near the fire. "You risked your life," she whispered. "For me, for us." "I told you I'm not leaving," he replied. Rhea stared at him. "Then let me give you something." She leaned close, not in fear. Not in shame. But in choice. "I'm yours," she whispered. "Not because I must be, but because I want to be." Logan touched her face gently. And for the first time since the war, he smiled. The fire was blue, not from fuel or tech but from ritual powder. sprinkled in a perfect circle around the two, who now knelt before it. The stars watched in silence. So did the village. No one laughed this time. No one dared. Because tonight, the alien widow and the human soldier were about to do something no one believed was possible. They were going to bond. Not for war, not for debt, but for love. Logan knelt in silence, wearing a worn human jacket over simple tribal cloth. His hands rested on his knees. His head was bowed, not in shame but in respect. Beside him, Rhea knelt barefoot. Her dress was hand-stitched from scraps, but she wore it like royalty. Her hair had been cleaned and tied with a ribbon Kari made from old fabric. In front of them stood the elder. Old, quiet, wise. No one remembered his name, only his title, the Witness of Flame. He looked down at Logan. "You are human," the elder said, his voice deep and slow. "You do not belong to this clan. You are not bound by our law." Logan raised his eyes. "I know. And yet," the elder continued, "you asked to take one of our own, a widow, a mother, a marked one." "I don't care about her marks," Logan replied. The elder turned to Rhea. "You are broken by war. You are touched by shame. You carry debts that were never paid. Do you wish to be taken by this outsider?" Rhea looked at Logan. She didn't cry. "Not this time. I was broken," she said softly. "But he made me whole again." The elder said nothing for a moment. Then slowly he stepped back and raised both arms. "Then by old flame, by new bond, and by choice free of fear, we seal the union." The blue fire flared. The children clapped. Rhea and Logan reached for each other's hands, not out of duty, but out of true belonging. As their fingers touched, the fire turned gold just for a moment. Gasps came from the crowd. That color was rare. It only happened when two spirits fully aligned, when hearts beat as one. The elder lowered his arms. His voice was softer now. "You are one. Let no law break what was chosen by the soul." After the crowd faded, after the stars blinked quiet, again, Logan carried Rhea in his arms, just like in ancient human stories. He laid her down inside the shelter. As their three children slept peacefully, Rhea touched his face. "Are you sure about this? About us?" Logan smiled. "I didn't just save you, Rhea. You saved me too." She pulled him close, not as a broken widow, but as a bonded mate. A woman reborn, asterisk. The sound of laughter filled the air. Not the cruel kind from the market, not the mocking kind from soldiers, but pure, warm laughter, the kind that only comes from children who feel safe. Logan stood barefoot in the soft dirt, lifting the youngest child into the air as Kari ran circles around him, pretending to be a starship. The boy in the middle chased after, a pet bird they had rescued from a busted trap. Their small home, rebuilt from scrap, stood proudly behind them. Flowers had begun growing near the doorway, planted by Rhea's gentle hands, and at the center of it all was peace. Inside the house, Rhea folded blankets by the fire. Her eyes followed every move Logan made outside. Every time the children laughed, her smile deepened. She had once wished only for food, then she wished only to survive. Now she had something she never dared to dream of: a family, a future, a home. Logan walked in, his shirt dusty, his hair messy from chasing kids. "They're growing fast," he said, wiping sweat from his brow. Rhea chuckled. "I hope you're ready for more." He froze. "More?" She stepped closer and placed his hand gently over her stomach. Logan blinked, then smiled. "Seriously?" he whispered. She nodded, her voice soft. "You didn't just become a father to my children. You made me a mother again." Logan pulled her into a quiet hug, holding her like she was the most precious thing in the galaxy. "You gave me more than I ever gave you," he whispered. "You gave me something to protect, something to believe in." Rhea pulled back just enough to look into his eyes. "You gave me the right to live again." Outside, The sun began to set. Golden light covered the land, painting everything in. Warmth dot in the distance. A few villagers watched them quietly, not with hate this time, but with quiet respect. The story of the human who chose the widow, who fought for the weak, who became one of them, had begun to spread. Some whispered it was love, others called it madness, but the ones who mattered called it family. That night as the children slept and stars returned to the sky, Logan and Rhea sat together, hand in hand, watching the fire crackle. Rhea leaned her head on his shoulder. "Do you remember when I asked you to take us in?" She whispered. "I remember thinking it might be a trap." Logan smiled. She giggled softly. "It was." He looked at her, confused. Rhea's voice turned warm. "A trap set by fate." They both laughed. And beneath the endless sky, surrounded by love, laughter, and new life, the human and the alien widow finally found what they had both lost. Not just safety, not just survival, but something stronger. Home made of hearts, a future built by choice, and a bond that no war could ever break.